So we are good to go. So welcome everyone to the first InnovateCT Live Show. I've never done a live show for Innovate Connecticut before, so welcome everyone who's watching both on YouTube and Facebook. And I got three people here, three guests for the first one, which is pretty exciting. So I've got Jenna Ditto, Christopher Davis, and Becky LaCroix. So welcome all three of you to the show.
Thank you.
So let me just start with a little bit about InnovateCT. And if you guys can just keep yourselves muted while I'm talking, that'd be awesome. Just we don't get any background noise. So Innovate Connecticut is an initiative I started a few years ago, and the entire intent is to promote innovation in Connecticut schools through knowledge and best practice sharing. So we share videos, we do podcasts. I've had that for a couple of years. And really the ultimate goal is to help educators. So our educators are the great people that work with our students every day. And we're talking K through 12 and colleges and universities. And I like to let educators share what they're doing. And then you guys reached out to me, which is fantastic. And I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, but you guys reached out to me about, you're all students at Yale, and you have a product that you've designed called the SpinWheel that is supposed to help teach kids about STEM, which warms my heart because it's right in the wheelhouse of what all these educators want and what we want to help kids with. So you asked, how I could help and maybe how we could collaborate. And I'm like, why don't we do a podcast? And then I quickly escalated that to why don't we just do a live show and make you guys come on YouTube and Facebook Live? And you all just agreed. So thank you. So why don't I have each of you introduce yourselves, just so we know a little bit about each of you, and then we'll jump into how you guys met and then what is SpinWheel and what you guys are doing. So Jenna, I don't know if you want to go ahead and start, and then we'll go to Chris and Becky.
Yeah, sure. Well, hi, my name is Jenna Ditto. I'm a fifth-year PhD student in chemical and environmental engineering at Yale. Graduating fairly soon, hopefully, with a PhD. And then we'll go on to do some air quality research. So I'm originally from Montreal, Canada, but have been in the States for a while now for grad school. A fun fact about me and STEM, I was on my high school's robotics team, which was kind of what piqued my interest in engineering. Never thought I would enjoy it when I first joined, but turned out that I loved it. So that's kind of how I got started in my STEM journey.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for being here, and I appreciate you reaching out. Chris, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I first joined generally at the grad school team around 2016, 2017. So I'm a physics PhD from Yale, got my PhD last summer. Now I work as a data scientist at Parmex. And I've been helping the team as we're kind of researching Kickstarter, a lot of stuff, everything's online, how we get all this stuff ready, going, and so our Kickstarter can go smoothly.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining. And then Becky, if you could introduce yourself.
Sure. I think there's a little bit of an echo, so sorry. Hi, I'm Becky LaCroix. I'm here at Yale doing my PhD in biomedical engineering. I actually just defended yesterday, so I'm wrapping up my time here now. I'm originally from Spencer, Massachusetts, so about an hour and a half north. And a fun fact about me and STEM, well, I guess my high school was pretty small, so I really liked math and science, but didn't have a lot of exposure to, coding and electronics and engineering. And so that's really been my inspiration for being involved in an outreach in graduate school. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining. Thanks for what you're doing. So, thanks for all of you for introducing yourselves. So why don't we start with, I don't know who wants to kind of kick off. How did you guys originally meet? I know it was through Yale where you all went to school, but what's the story there around, the coming together of this large group of people working on this project, and then we'll kind of jump into the project.
Yeah, sure. So, so the graduate section of Society of Women Engineers actually started in 2014. So myself and Bridget, who's another SpinWearables team member, were the first co-presidents of the group. And so we all met through that. And over the last 6 years, I guess, the group has really expanded a lot, and it's provided community for a lot of female engineering students, but also like allies of female engineering students, physics students, computer science students. So it's been really great, a great way to meet people. And a big part of our mission from the beginning has been outreach as well, and working with other groups at Yale, such as Pathways to Science, to give back to New Haven students, and we've expanded our events so that we can reach students around Connecticut. So it's been a really great, positive part of grad school experience, I think, for all of us.
You know, that's awesome, and I'm glad. It's cool how it wasn't even really a class that brought you guys together. It was actually, you know, more of an extracurricular activity because you're from all different disciplines that you're learning. So who wants to kind of jump in and tell us a little bit about, like, what is the SpinWheel? What is this SpinWearables organization you guys made? And if you want, I might even be able to share it here while we're doing this on the screen, if that would be helpful for people.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll jump in. Nick, do you mind trying to mute yourself? I'm hearing a lot of echo right now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Becky and I'll mute ourselves while you're
Yeah,
while
we
you're
can see if that helps. Okay, that helps a lot. Cool. Yeah, so as Becky said, a group of us got together through our involvement in the Society of Women Engineers, through volunteering for a lot of K-12 outreach events. And we had been thinking for a while that we wanted to come up with some way to bring STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math to more students. Chris will tell you guys a little bit more later about some of our approaches combining science and art. But we really wanted to find a way to get more kids interested in science, particularly physics and computer programming, through an artistic medium. Some parents over the years have asked us at our events if we had some take-home kits that they could purchase to bring home and explore science at home with their kids. And so sort of through our experience leading outreach events and through these conversations with parents, the SpinWheel was born. And so, yeah, you can see it up on the website right now. And actually, Becky has a SpinWheel with her that's lighting up in some cool colors. So the idea with the SpinWheel is it's a medallion that's a couple inches in diameter that you can wear as a keychain or as a pair of earrings, as a necklace. Can really do whatever you want with it. And it has a variety of LEDs that you can see are pretty bright. Becky is showing it now. And the whole idea is that you can program the SpinWheel to do a variety of different things. So you can program it just to have its lights light up in really cool, colorful ways. You can program it to do things like act as a step counter. You can program it to act as a compass. And so our goal really is to teach physics and computer science with this tool. So each SpinWheel kit comes with a SpinWheel itself, and then also a guidebook, and there'll be educational guide materials on the online as well, but a guide that will walk you through some of these really cool activities and sort of teach you the principles behind the activity. So yeah, these kits are on Kickstarter. For those who are not familiar with Kickstarter, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. So the idea is that we launch our product on Kickstarter. You can back us on Kickstarter in whatever way you want. So you can purchase one SpinWheel, you can purchase two, you can purchase one for a friend, one, a kit for a classroom, and so on and so forth. And then if we meet our fundraising goal, we get to manufacture the SpinWheel and ship it out to all our backers. So yeah, our campaign page is up right now. We are just over $19,000, which is super exciting. Our goal is 25,000, and we have until April 30th, I believe, to reach that goal. So,
hey Jenna, can I ask you a couple questions just for the audience?
Yeah.
So the thing is so cool, and it does, as you mentioned, you gave like a bunch of examples of how you could program it and use it and do fun stuff with it. A couple questions. I think, again, a lot of educators watch and listen to my podcast, so I think a lot of educators would love this. What age do you think this is appropriate for, right? Because I have an 8-year-old, and I think my 8-year-old would probably struggle using something like this. What age is appropriate? And then what do you need to actually hook it up to your computer and program it, right? Because
Yep.
I think people are probably looking at this thing and thinking to themselves, like, do I need fancy software? Do I need special computer? So maybe you can share a little bit about that information as well.
Yeah.
While we have the page up.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of age, we're writing the educational materials for students 12 years old and up. So we hope that students 12 years old and up will be able to find something that they're excited about and they can follow along with in the guide. But really, we hope that, middle school students, high school students, like adults, anyone will really enjoy this. But yeah, we're gearing our writing and our educational material development towards 12 and up. And then in terms of
just to clarify, there's full, you have full curriculum that goes with the device. So if educators wanted to buy some of these for one of their classes, right, they could say a STEM class, they could buy them, and you actually have instructional material on what to do with it, how to play with it, how to program it, etc.
Yep. So the idea is that you don't need any experience with programming to jump in. If you have experience, that's awesome. And you'll be able to jump in at some of the more advanced activities. But the idea is that you can, walk in, open the box. It's your first time programming, and you'll be able to find something fun and interesting for you to do. Your second question was what you need to use the SpinWheel. So all you need is the SpinWheel itself. Any micro USB cable will plug the SpinWheel into a computer's USB port. So a lot of phone chargers or phone connectors for Androids, I believe, will work. And then you need a computer. And then the SpinWheel, the coding runs on the Arduino software, which is a free software that you can download online. So that's it. You don't need anything fancy. The Arduino software will download in 10 seconds on your computer. You just need a USB cable and you're good to go.
So it sounds like, other than the actual device, which is pretty inexpensive, I'll let you share how much it costs with folks. You really don't. Everything else is basically, no cost, right? As long as you have a computer, you get all the software you need to actually program it and play with it. So I have a couple questions, and we'll kind of dive into a little bit about why you guys did this. So how much are these things if someone wanted to go ahead and get one? And like I said earlier, we'll make sure to include in the show description for both the video and the podcast, we'll make sure to include a link to your site, SpinWearables.com, where you can go sign up for the Kickstarter. How much are these things? Yeah,
so one SpinWheel kit is $40. We have other sort of ways that you can purchase it too. So if you wanted to get 2 SpinWheels to maybe wear as earrings or, have just 2 for yourself, that's $75. And there are some other pricing options as well. You can also opt to support our mission just by making a donation, chipping in $2 or $3 as well. You can pledge without receiving an award. So there are a variety of options on our Kickstarter page. If you're on the page and you scroll down a little bit on the right-hand side, we have a list of a variety of ways you can support us.
Yeah, no. One question. It's what was, so clearly you guys have a passion for STEM based off of your backgrounds and being, for being part of the Society of Women Engineers. But what made you kind of gravitate to, because you could have just volunteered at things and done after school events. Instead, you guys went a whole step further and decided to build your own device, write your own you write your own curriculum, and really kind of go all in this. What was whose original idea was it? How did it evolve? I mean, you guys, I think, have, I want to say it's 6 or 8 people working on this. How has that been? Share a little bit about how this all kind of started, other than meeting in the Society of Women Engineers. What, how did it evolve? Because it seems like it evolved pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can take this one. That's okay. So throughout our time, since we started at grad school and working all these events, we've been doing dozens of events throughout the years, kind of building and growing and iterating this program. As those who do STEM education know, you kind of try some stuff one year, you get feedback, you iterate the next year and kind of develop new things as you go. And one of the things we kept getting is feedback all the time. Kids would come to our events, they would do something really cool, we'd have a great time doing it with them, but then they want to have something at home to do to bring home themselves. It's not just, you can't just do STEM for one weekend for 2 hours with us, even though as much fun as it is, it's always something you want to keep building a passion for yourself, making your own stuff, getting your own materials going. And this is where we kind of got this idea here. So kind of as we were thinking, our team's like, okay, how do we actually meet this need that we're hearing about from all these parents, all these educators, all these kids even going through? And so we went and started iterating like how to make it work, what kind of things do they like a lot. Kids have really enjoyed, in the past, we do events with LEDs, doing like color mixing. You bring a bunch of LED diodes, you change them, you make colors, like how a TV works. And so we're like, okay, let's make a device that has LEDs. Kids really enjoy the events we had that have Arduinos in them, that they can kind of do little microcontrollers. We've made programmable gardens with them. They like having this kind of chance to kind of code, act it out, and make it work. And so it just makes a lot of sense to kind of start combining all these things together, and then you start building this thing, and it turns out to be a SpinWheel. And then we're like, okay, how do we get this working? How do we get this to reach all of Connecticut as far as we want to go to make this whole thing work?
Let me just pause you for a second, because I just laughed because you're like, yeah, it just made total sense. Like we just added this, this, and this, and boom, we get this cool thing, right? It's just, you guys, you're clearly all extremely intelligent and extremely technical. So it's just funny to hear how like you just kind of like, well, yeah, it just made sense to do it, right? And other people are probably going to watch this and be like, wow, how did they ever come up with this cool thing, right? So no, I mean, I love how you mentioned iterating, and because innovation is iterating, right? Innovation is continuing to change and continue to evolve, which is exactly what you guys did. And you listened to the people you were working with, and felt like out of the goodness of your heart you wanted to build this thing. Because I know, I think one thing you didn't mention, Jenna, is you guys aren't making money off of this and then pocketing it. You're making money off this to use to put back into the STEM education for the community, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I guess I'll just jump in for a really quick second. I did not mention that earlier, but our just whole
throw that out there. It's kind of
yeah. Our whole goal with this Kickstarter campaign is to, number one, help spread the STEM, help get more kids excited in STEM, but also all proceeds from the SpinWheel go back towards funding our outreach events that we run on campus. So yeah, we're not profiting. We're hoping to fund our outreach for local Connecticut students through this initiative. Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just want to make sure we make sure out of that. So Chris, so you iterated, and then when did you guys make your first prototype?
Jenna, do you know the timing on that one?
Yeah, so I think last summer, so summer of 2019, was when we really sat down and started like sketching out designs for the SpinWheel and looking up parts and ordering parts to make a few prototypes ourselves. So we had been thinking about this for a while. Kind of sometime last year, we ran a really cool math and art activity, which Chris played a big role in organizing and running. And so sort of since then, we had been thinking about this idea, but last summer was when it really became concrete, and we sketched out a design, ordered parts, made prototypes, and like decided we were gonna go full steam ahead.
Cool. So Chris, so back to the story. So you made the prototype, and then I guess whose idea was it to do the Kickstarter? Like, how did you guys know that was the way to go?
I'll probably defer to one of the other people here to answer that question.
We were thinking about like various ways that we could potentially raise enough money to do this. And so we knew that we didn't necessarily want this to be like a full-fledged like company that we were starting. Right. We knew that we wanted to like manufacture this product and, ship it out to as many kids as we can. But in the end, the goal was to raise money for outreach. And so we like thought about some other options, some other like fundraising options. And I don't know, this one just sort of seemed like a good fit in terms of like a way to raise money, and also just kind of like a fun challenge to see if we could pull it off. Like if we could run a successful campain. None of us are, entrepreneurs. We're all engineers and physicists, but we just thought it would be like
No, I think it's a great use of Kickstarter, and you guys, for those out there that know what Kickstarter is a perfect use for it. And I think you're actually all going to learn quite a bit from doing it, because you mentioned you're not business majors, you're not entrepreneurs, but you guys are doing a very entrepreneurial endeavor here, which you're all going to learn from while you're trying to get something built for the the community of STEM. So I think it's great. It looks like you guys are getting pretty close to your goal too. Becky, I think you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say we also, our team took part in the Yale Sci Center for Innovation. They had a incubator last fall that we participated in. So we got mentorship from people from the School of Management. And so that was also part of our, in our decision making to go the Kickstarter route. We got a lot of feedback from people who had experience doing Kickstarters before, which was really helpful. And so that also weighed into it as well. So.
That's great. I think, I think just to kind of reiterate, how the great work you guys are doing, I think this is something that could be used in schools, within middle schools, within high schools, in STEM classes, in different, in different computer science courses or different in classroom events. And then I think to your point, there's obviously a big opportunity to use these in events, right? So outside of the classroom, whether it's after school or on a weekend with a club or something like that. And then just the ability to use it at home and help teach kids more about STEM. I think when I was talking with Jenna ahead of this call, I said to her, if you guys can, even if you help 5, 10, 15, 20 kids with this device, end up having a career in STEM, you've changed lives. And I think that's fantastic. So especially I love how you're outreaching to women in STEM, just because women are so underrepresented in the STEM fields. I know that we've made a lot of progress, but still there's a lot of work to be done. So the fact that we have women kind of building this and designing it and running it and having it be tied back to the Women of Engineers, Society of Engineers at Yale, I think is fantastic. So so I guess my last question, and we'll wrap up, is what are you looking for? Like, what can my followers and my audience from Innovate Connecticut, the educators, the parents, et cetera, that watch and follow me, what can they do to help you guys? And what can they do if they're interested and they're in the New Haven area on having one of these outreach programs that you guys run post COVID-19 and our current situation?
I can start. Yeah, I guess we're really just hoping to spread the word as broadly as possible. So if anyone knows, a middle or high schooler who they think might be interested in learning to program and learning a bit of physics, or if you yourself as a student or a parent is interested, we would love it if you would consider supporting us, helping us inspire the next generation of engineers. You can find more on our website, which is SpinWearables.com, as well as on our Kickstarter page, which, I guess we can link. Becky and Chris, did you guys want to jump in?
Well, you mentioned about local students. So we also have, like, the situation permitting, we also have an event in September that, so for like $60, you can get a SpinWheel and come to Yale, and we will, if you're in 7th to 10th grade, I believe we'll walk you through some basic programming with it. But of course, the idea is that you don't need us, that you can do it at home. So, but yeah, if you're interested in that, that would also be a way to come to Yale and hang out with us.
I know students would really like that. And again, we'll make sure to link to your website so people can learn more information. So last question, and then I'll go ahead and say thank you and let you guys get on with your evening. Assuming you guys make the target for the Kickstarter, which I think is going to happen because you guys are making great progress, when can people expect to get their SpinWheel after you have them manufactured? What is the timing on that?
September. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. Going to be in September. So, we've checked with like all of our suppliers, and it seems like we're still on track to meet that goal. And so, that's the time frame I guess we're looking at. So we're hoping to do some in-person like final tests of our educational materials over the summer, and then we'll ship them in September.
No, that's great. And when you guys are ready, I'm happy to share all your education material through my network as well to get the word out. And again, once you guys have them available, I'm assuming you're probably going to buy a couple extras to just sell if other people wanted them. So hopefully we can do that. But
yeah.
Thank you to the three of you and your whole team for putting this together and what you're doing for STEM education in Connecticut. I love that your college students giving back to the K through 12 community. And just, again, I think you're inspiring not only young women, but young men as well to join STEM and know that they will have a very, very promising career if they go the STEM route, which the three of you I'm sure will have as well. So thank you. I appreciate you being on the first ever live version of my InnovateCT podcast. And we'll hopefully maybe have to get back in touch in the September when you guys have them back, like actually in hand.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for that.
This is great.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
You too. Have a good one.